New ARK 2 screenshot, new Fjordur Caves, and Genesis 2 creatures on ARK 2. You're right kids, it's Raasclark and welcome to your regular ARK community news. Before we begin, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, share around, and let's get into it. So a tweet was put out there in the wild by a Mr. Damien Bull, Studio Wildcard Environment Director, offering a picture regarding ARK 2 at GDC. GDC being the game developers conference that's running right now live in San Francisco. A conference that brings together all of the people in the industry, behind the scenes, the developers that are obviously working on their upcoming projects, and of course collaborating, networking throughout this event to get a bigger picture of what's up and coming. It seems that Wildcard Stand was purely there from a hiring capacity that was only looking to employ people, not to show off anything new related to ARK 2, which was a shame of course. We was hoping to pick apart at least something, but there is one detail that I completely overlooked in last night's live stream. Right there in the background, plain as day, the main focal image for the ARK 2 stand is a brand new ARK 2 image that Fjordur was alluding to that he had worked on, and I'll show you why I thought this was the original image in the trailer, as they are very similar. So here's the one in the trailer, and the stances are pretty much exactly the same, which is why, yes, during a live video I certainly overlooked that fact, trying to make sure the live was running okay. But as I enhance that image and bring it up to about the same size, we can see it is a very much different image. Same stances, very similar stances, they're not too far different, but they are certainly different. You can see, of course, for one, Vin Diesel is wearing his crown. No, it's not a brand new crown, don't worry about that. It's the same crown that he wears in the start of the trailer, it certainly definitely is. And this brand new Rex variant is very similar to the one in the trailer, of course, but the background is the one to pick apart. It's a completely different scene, we can certainly see that, but is it the same scene that's at the end of the trailer? Now, there it is right there. I've picked that one out, which gives us a glimmer at the world of ARK 2 that we're going to explore when the game eventually comes out. And it does look like almost the same scene. Now, there's a few things here, like some foliage there to the left, a new plant type perhaps, but the scene in proportion looks very, very similar to that end, in the sense that they're on a looks like to be a cliffside. That waterfall you can see there could be the same one behind us. It might not be, but I'm guessing it is using those assets and putting them together to create that scene. But yes, Fjordur did create this, and that is something new. It's the first new screenshot we've had of ARK 2 in a very long time. In over a year, we've got something new to see about the game. Not a fat lot, but I do think we are going to see a heck of a lot more in the coming months, as discussed in last night's live stream, that June is going to be the one, and we've covered all of that last night. I will leave a link to that and talk about that at the end of the video in the description. And speaking of which, said complex-minded lead community manager put out a tweet yesterday, asking us what were our top 5 dinos we want from ARK 1 to be in ARK 2. Cue a lot of you responding with the ones you must have in the fully fledged sequel, including ones you don't want to have. And quite an interesting thing to see. Perhaps we are in some way voting to see some of the ARK 1 creatures to be in the new sequel. Fjordur mod map maker himself, Nakatus, jumped in with his own list of creatures, one of which being the Andrewsarchus, which is quite an interesting thing to think about. Yes, you might be a bit biased seeing the Andrewsarchus is an exclusive thing to Fjordur, but the fact that Nakatus is so highly praising the Andrewsarchus and no other creature, and one of course that Wildcard are making to bring to the official launch of the new Fjordur in June, speaks some volumes. I'm really looking forward to seeing this in action, with of course a minigun that's on its back rotating 360 degrees, shooting in all directions. It could be a very cool creature to watch. But as we covered last night, Craig Brown came in with, I am neither confirming nor denying the Maywing for ARK 2, but I am saying that they exist on the Gen ship, which means they exist in universe, so it's not impossible. Cue a lot of us woeing, because that means it's a good possibility that all of the creatures on the Gen 2 ship have made their way to the ARK 2 planet. What that planet is going to be called, we'll have to wait and see. It can be further confirmed by another tweet that's not really confirming it, but Survivor Nerva came back to this tweet saying I was going to say this. Everything on the Eden Ring exists in universe, so Striders too. Although since they were powered via Bluetooth element like the tech suits were, they're probably just hunks of unpowered scrap metal now. Q Craig Brown replying, I am going out of my way to answer that. I am not answering this. Think of that as you will. Yes, ARK 2 tech is confirmed. No, they've already said they want this to be a very back to primitive game, but it's definitely a possibility. As we saw in the trailer, there is some element of tech in the game, and I think what's going to happen is all of the technology, all of the stuff from Gen 2 ship has crash landed and propelled how many hundreds, thousands years later when this is going to be set. I'm pretty sure that is the fact. All of those bits and pieces, technologies have been scrapped, salvaged to try and create something, and perhaps the players that you're playing as within ARK 2 are coming to terms with all of this technology and what does it actually mean, what does it do. Think like a caveman being given a mobile phone. In that sort of form, you kind of get my drift, I hope. And that would kind of suggest a great versatile entry into the new map, that they could take any direction, that the possibility of evolving into tech is there if the players want it, or perhaps they just stick to the primitive routes. That would really tick a lot of boxes and at least leave wildcard open to deciding which way they want to take ARK 2 in its new direction, but starting with that primitive level. One other thing to note is Nakata's replied, if you won't add it, we modders gonna add it. Of course, the Maywing, which again opens up the possibility questions of mod support with ARK 2. It's no secret that ARK wouldn't be where it is without mods and vice versa. It has been a synchronized journey throughout and it's going to get even better, especially for you Xbox players out there. Credit to Jade PG who told us in last night's live stream that Xbox is adding more and more mod support to you players out there. It seems that this is only on the PC app at the moment, but as we progress, as we continue down this journey, this tale of the new consoles, that it's a good possibility that Xbox could have its own version of mod support on the actual consoles. And of course, it's no secret by now that ARK 2 will be a launch exclusive on Xbox. I think this is possibly the platform to play it on. Right now, right then, right when it comes out, will have to be, because that's the only platform to play it on, well, of course, as well as PC. And yeah, exciting times. I look forward to hearing more about Xbox mod support and if this will integrate into ARK 2. Speaking of mods, Nakata's mod map maker, who of course built Fjordur and is now seeing it through to its official new version in June, which is going to apparently be a very different version to the Fjordur you've already played. Apparently, if you've even played that through and through, it's going to be a completely refreshing experience with certainly more caves. Nakata's put out a tweet saying, just want to mention that I've completed the most beautiful cave I've made so far today. Cedric replied saying, I saw it and my God. Which means, good grief, we're getting even more caves on Fjordur. Lest we forget, there's well over 25 caves already on the map. This map is going to be an incredible one to play on. And what is this cave? Why is this cave so special? Why is it being built in? Where is it going to be? Yes, the sea areas in places are a bit underdeveloped at the moment in the mod form. And Krabby, good old Krabby, our good friend Krabby, came out with a question. Can you give us a hint? Is it land cave or ocean cave? Nakata's replied, what if I say both? Meaning, yes, it could be a bit of both. Perhaps it's going to be a big, expansive undersea cave with a huge land entrance. Think like the Cunning Cave on the island, or it could be even more. It could be some form of a tech cave. I know they're going all out on this map, as it may be its last swan song, ARK's last swan song map before we see ARK 2. And why not go all out as much as they possibly can before they have to throw everything into the sequel, which I do believe is going to start being drip fed to us after Fjordur has pretty much dropped. Well, pretty much straight after Fjordur drops, if my theories are correct, which me and Jade discussed heavily in last night's pilot live episode of the Survival Evolved show, which was a great turnout, a 1 hour live stream between us and you, the community, discussing everything we know about ARK, what's upcoming, what's going on, our theories, your theories, bringing together as much of the community as we possibly could to really delve into our passions and expectations for ARK. And if you missed it, I will leave a link in the description. Please do go check it out and leave your feedback about that type of format of video, because it is something that we certainly want to continue on. I want this to be a very mainstay thing for both you and me, a big community forum, 1 hour thing once a week. And I can't wait for the next one that's going to be on Jay's channel next week. I'll see you there. My name's Raasclark. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And as always, peace out.